Listo para comer. Oh, look at that. There must be 30 different ingredients in this mole recipe.
A mucha insistencia, poca la resistencia.
Muy, muy bueno. I can tell you certainly, there's nothing like this in the world. Good morning, I hope you're having an amazing day. It's Mark Weins, I'm in Oaxaca, Mexico. Okay, hold on. We've got to back up. I need to tell you the full story. So at this point in the morning when I started this video, I desperately wanted to eat some homemade Oaxacan mole negro. The only problem was, I had no clue yet how it was going to happen. Our full plan for the day was to, number one, hire a van and driver for the day, which we had already arranged the night before, so we can cross that one off the list. Number two, drive to a local Oaxacan village. Number three, go directly to the fresh market. And number four, walk around and find a grandmother or auntie to cook us some mole. From scratch. Yes, we were going to wing it, and I knew very well the risk of failing the Oaxacan mole negro mission was very likely. But sometimes when you travel without a plan, you end up having the most memorable experiences of your life. We're now in the van, and we are on our way to a place called Teotitlán del Valle. And that's when things took a turn for the best. We're quickly stopping to get some gas, but I just gotta fill you in what's happening. When we started off today, we didn't really have a plan of what we were gonna do. We just wanted to go to Teotitlán del Valle, and we wanted to find especially mole, because they're known for mole around that region of Oaxaca. But we were talking to the driver, our van driver, who's an awesome guy, and he mentioned that he's actually from a village which is very close to Teotitlán del Valle. And he called his mom. He asked if she could make mole for us, and she agreed. So we're on our way. We're stopping for gas right now, but we're on our way to go pick up his mom. Then we're gonna go to the market. We're gonna buy all the ingredients for mole, and she's gonna home cook us mole. This is gonna turn into a Oaxacan food mole adventure.
This has the chorizo, looks amazing.
Oh,
There's a
yes.
kitchen in there. Hola, Carlos, para servirle.
Ofelia Martínez Domínguez, buenos días.
Mucho gusto.
¿Está lista?
Sí, nada más déjenme.
Hola.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Sí, pásenle por aquí.
Muchas gracias.
Aquí le esperamos, no hay problema.
This could not be a more perfect location. The house is beautiful. The countryside here is gorgeous. The family is so generous and so inviting. We're on our way to the market now.
Pero sí, todo eso.
Muy bien.
Ayer me hubieras dicho y ya hubiera ido a comprar todo, ahora ya nomás.
Pero pues yo no sabía.
Pues sí.
The actual town that we're in is called Tlacolula de Matamoros, and this is a Zapoteca town, so that's the culture, the ethnicity. Okay, and we have just arrived to the market now.
¿Ya está o todavía no está? No, todavía. ¿Qué tiempo la tiene?
Mole, ¿no? Negro entonces. Negro, porque quede. Entonces sí llegue la que
We're stopping first to buy the chilies. Oh man, so many different types of chilies. That's a big bag of chilies right there.
Medio kilo de pasas, un cuarto de almendras. Buenos días todavía. Un cuarto de nuez. Acomodas las cebollas. A ver. Esto que pesa. Espérame. Ahí está, eso nada más.
Vegetable section now. We're buying some tomatoes, some onions, some peppers, some green tomatoes. And they even put bread inside Oaxacan mole.
No, aquí nomás está. 10 pesos.
10 pesos, sí. Okay. Ah, ¿y mole también?
Sí.
Plátano.
Sí.
Ah, gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias. Gracias.
Claro, ¿no?
El chicken.
Sí.
¿Y no vender? Pollo entero no tiene. ¿Sí? ¿Y no vender? ¿Me da? No, vine a traer unas cosas que vamos a hacer.
We're getting a full chicken to go with that mole sauce.
Mole que ya que vamos a hacer.
Se cuece el mole rico y una
Es
sopa
que ellos
de
quieren
arroz.
mole y ya lo voy a hacer como ella lo hace. Por eso ellos quieren, pero ella, la receta que tengo es de ella, como hace el mole. Ajá.
It's her recipe.
No,
Oh,
sale un
is
mole
she a
bueno.
relative? Is she a relative?
¿Pariente de usted o es?
bonito
Sí,
y barato.
conocidos. Dice que ya somos sus hijos adoptivos.
While we're at the chicken stall, we met the grandmother whose recipe we'll be making. It's her mole recipe. And oh, she definitely knows what she's doing when it comes to mole. Things just even got better.
Ándale, sí, abuela.
Que le vaya bien, doñita.
Hola, ¿es listo?
Ya está listo.
Quiero un vaso, por favor.
¿Jicarita o un vasito?
Un...
¿De jicarita?
por favor, sí, sí.
¿Con azúcar?
Sin azúcar.
Ah, sin azúcar.
Sin azúcar, por favor.
Simple.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
5 pesos.
5 pesos. 5. Maíz, cacao.
Sí, maíz, cacao, pisle, es la
Pisle.
semilla que sale del hueso de mamey.
Ah.
Sí, es natural y la florecita es natural.
Okay, this is called tejate, and it's a traditional drink she uses. There's corn in here, and there is chocolate. I'm not sure what all else. But as we were entering the market, she was making it, and she was whipping it up with her hands. It was like a thick paste, but now she added more water, so it's turned into a liquid beverage. But there's still some like chunkiness on top. This is very interesting. I can't wait to try it. Oh, and I asked her for it with no sugar. She said you could have sugar or no sugar or however much sugar you want. It's really good with no sugar. You can taste the corn in there, you can taste the chocolate. It's a little bit starchy. It tastes like kind of a cross between a beverage and a porridge.
Ese es tejate.
It's great.
Bebidas de los dioses zapotecos.
Muchas gracias. Buenos días.
Bueno, gracias.
Okay, we made it back to the house. It's time to start cooking. I wanted to just explain that this entire area and this city is known for its Zapotec population, which is the indigenous people of this region of Oaxaca. Tamales oaxaqueños.
Así está.
Eso se le llama desvelar.
She's getting started making the mole by just first starting off with the chilies. Those are pretty large chilies. She's emptying out the seeds, scraping out the seeds. And in the meantime, we have gotten lucky and she made, without knowing, she made some tamales, some loco Oaxaqueño tamales. Steamed in corn husk. Let me empty this out. Let me just break up this tamal. ¿Tamale de qué?
De chepil.
De chepil. Oh, chepil es verdura.
Así es.
Verdura.
Es verdura.
Ah. Okay.
con la que hacen-
I'm not totally sure what that is. Do you know what it is, Carlos?
I don't know.
There's a tub of salsa that our driver, by the way, his name is Javier. He said this is his favorite salsa that his mom makes. And he said it's picante, it's spicy. I'm gonna add on some of this salsa. He said it's spicy.
That's good. It's not spicy.
Okay.
good.
Looks amazing. Oh, that's amazing. It's corn, but it's not like finely ground. It's kind of coarse. You can taste that unique vegetable in there. It's more like a herb, I think. Maybe like a wild herb. It's delicious with that salsa. Oh, that's incredible. Salsa's a little bit spicy, but just perfect with that tamale. It's delicious.
¿Cómo se llama? Y hay de rajas, puñetes, de mole. Su nieta.
That first type of chili is all ready. We're moving into the kitchen now. They're gonna light the fire and we're gonna get started cooking this mole. And they're making it purely from scratch. All the raw ingredients, or the dried chilies, the dry ingredients, but everything is from scratch. It's such a privilege to have this opportunity.
Aquí es donde se va a tostar el chile ancho. El elote.
So she's roasting the chilies now, or just heating them over the comal, which is the clay pan over fire. And they're not spicy, but to me they almost have like a sweet, almost tomatoey aroma to them.
Así ya debe de quedar. Ajá, ese ya está listo.
Okay.
Eso.
So she's roasting the chilies for a few minutes until they shrivel up. Then they look like a kind of like a shriveled piece of leather. But the aroma coming out, they're slightly charred. I'm already starting to sense that complexity of aromas and flavors that will be part of this mole.
O aquí nomás sácame servilletitas.
¿Agua natural?
Sí. No, de Jamaica. Y 1 kilo de chile ancho es bastante, como 3 kilos, 4 kilos, más o menos. Mi nervora con eso que me quemé mi mano.
¿Ese es plátano dulce?
Plátano macho.
Macho.
Es dulce.
It's dulce. It's a plantain banana. She
¿Sabes
said it's
qué,
a little bit
Germán?
sweet.
Me vas a ayudar a
And
deshuesarla.
I am still unsure how all of this is gonna fit together.
Chabacano.
Chabacano.
Ajá. Así. Almendra.
Almendra. Okay, so for the almonds, she put in some oil into the clay pot and then she's just frying the almonds.
Así creo que ya está, ¿verdad? Estas son nueces.
Son nueces.
Ajá.
She just pulled the almonds out of the oil and now she dropped in the walnuts. Yeah, take one. You want one? You can die. I never would have guessed the next ingredient in this mole recipe. They're like kind of like cookie biscuits. And again, she's just tossing them into the oil, deep frying them just for about 10 seconds or so. That's an ingredient I wasn't expecting.
Pan cazuela. Muéstrase lo que tiene adentro.
Este.
Chocolate
Oh, chocolate.
Acá.
y pasas.
There's also bread in the mole, and it's a special type of bread. There's some chocolate in the bread and something else. Oh, is that going to be fried too? Oh, yes, yes it is. As the bread and as the ingredients are being fried and prepared, something to know about mole is that it's a very, very well-known dish. It's one of the ultimate dishes of Oaxaca as well as in Puebla. And there are mixed theories of how it was invented or how it came about. But one thing is for sure is that it is a combination of both the local indigenous ingredients and cooking techniques combined with the European colonial influence to create this truly unique blend of flavors and tastes, and it's an incredibly complex dish using so many ingredients. I mean, if you were trying to even come up with a dish like this, it would be impossible because there's so many random ingredients in it and it's such a complex dish. This is
Pimienta.
pimienta.
Así es. 28. 30.
This is some type of pepper that I've never seen before. The next spice is cloves going in.
Hey,
2, 6.
canela.
Cinnamon. This is when things are getting more and more complex when they're adding the spices now. So now she's frying some cinnamon sticks, and then we also counted out some big, huge, some kind of peppercorns, and then cloves. There's going to be some sesame seeds that go in. Wow. Cloves and the type of pepper go in the oil. The aroma of that is insane.
Ahora van las pasas.
Las pasas. Oh, raisins. Okay. Oh, those smell really good being stir-fried in that oil.
Único esa olla es que hizo falta. Porque quería en una olla de...
As the ingredients are still being prepared for the mole sauce, they're now preparing the chicken. So the chicken has all been cleaned and cut up, and I think she's just boiling it straight up in water.
Muy complicado.
Muy complicado. Muy interesante, sí.
Sí. Y mucho trabajo el mole.
Sí, mucho trabajo. Mole is such a complex dish, and there's so many ingredients involved, and each ingredient you have to prepare separately, and it's very time intensive, and it takes a lot of work to prepare, and so it's so cool to be able to watch the whole process and just anticipate the mole that we're going to be able to eat very soon. Chabacán. Plums.
Wow.
I think some type of plum, dried plum, and then deep fried also.
Este es hierbita de olor.
Carlos, Vargas.
It's oregano and some kind of other herb. So basically, the chilies get blackened, roasted, but everything else is fried in oil. Chicken is coming along nicely, nice and slow. Except she just tossed in some onions and garlic right into the fire to roast. Sesame seeds. Seeds, white sesame seeds. That also goes into the oil to fry. Man, she has fried at least 15 ingredients so far.
Sí, porque para el pollo, eso estoy viendo. Y pasamos el chivo.
Hierba santa.
Ajá. Hierba santa, cebolla, ajo, sal. Cuando vean ya está dulce.
Just for the flavor of the chicken. Separately in the chicken pot, after just boiling the chicken in water, then she added in some onions and some garlic, and also a type of leaf called hoja santa. And that's going to create a chicken broth that they're also going to use for the mole. These are all of the ingredients so far. Look, it's an entire bucket of ingredients. Works so well. The onions and garlic finished roasting in the fire, and then they're just peeling off that outer blackened layer and revealing just that juicy flesh underneath. And then for the tomatoes, there's two kinds of tomatoes, the green tomatoes and the red tomatoes, and she's again just frying it in the clay pot for a little while.
Le echas a este, Germán, y a este otro.
That took about 2 hours to prepare everything. It's now time to start grinding everything together to make the sauce. I love the sound of that rock on rock, but then with the squishing sound of those chilies in between the rocks. And she's such an expert. And you can even smell, you can really vibrantly smell the aroma of those chilies in there too. The stone grinder like this is called a metate, but it's very, very time intensive. It would take hours and hours to grind up this entire bucket full of ingredients for the mole. They're gonna take it to the market where they have a bigger grinder called a molina. And they're gonna grind everything on that so it will be a lot faster. So it would probably take until tomorrow if they tried to grind all of that by hand, and we don't have that much time. So they're gonna do that, but in the meantime, we're gonna go to a waterfall, which is near to this area, because then after that, the paste, it has to cook for a while. And then we're gonna come back to eat this just sensational mole. The drive to get here was gorgeous. We came really high into the mountains. It's the views, the rugged landscape is incredible. And we've arrived to the place, it's called Hierve del Agua. It's beautiful here.
Hey, Mark.
Yo. Feels like you're on the edge of the earth here, and this is where the water is bubbling. But the water is not hot, it's just kind of like fizzing. It's just room temperature water. We now hiked over to the main swimming pools. It's quite a unique landscape. It's almost like a moonscape. Those are some pretty interesting and very unique moonscapes. But I am very, very hungry now. My excitement for eating mole is at an all-time high. Hola. Hola.
Hola, hola.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Ya quedó. Aquí ya está el que se le va a echar el caldo.
Oh. Over here, this is the paste. And so that was all, wow, you can smell it. So you can see the shimmering oil on it. I'm just gonna taste the paste. Oh wow. That's like unexplainable. It's almost like foamy in texture. You can taste the spices, the hint of clove, the pepper in there.
Maybe like an hour and a half. Ya le pusieron chocolate, ¿verdad?
Ya, ahorita si quieren más.
Okay.
No, así como lo probé. Bueno, ese lo probé, ese no tiene chocolate, ¿verdad?
Ya tiene,
Ah, okay.
Pero si quieren más, se le echa ya.
No.
Ajá. Ahora ya lo van a probar diferente.
So they already added the chocolate in there, so we didn't see them add that, but they added chocolate in there. It's almost time. Listo para comer.
Bueno. Todo lo paro ahí en una canastita.
¿Ese canastito nos llevamos?
Ajá, eso es que eso.
No, sí. Ya lo puse. Ajá, ya puse.
Papa,
Sí.
¿también va a comer el...? ¿Yo el stroller o no?
Sí, con la...
Wow, sesame seeds. Good start. It took like 5 hours to make this mole. They made everything from scratch, starting with the chilies. There must be 30 different ingredients in this mole recipe. And what I love is that the family, they just kindly invited us into their house and into their compound, into their home, like we were family here. So what's interesting about mole is that they don't cook the chicken within the sauce, but rather the chicken is cooked separately and then the sauce is prepared separately, and then they combine the two for the final process right before you eat it. Wow. Oh wow. I can tell you certainly, there's nothing like this in the world. It's so unique. It's such like an impossible mixture of ingredients. You don't even know, actually, and it's true that they don't know exactly how mole was invented. It's a very mysterious, amazing flavor. You can taste the chocolate, you can taste the chilies, you can taste the nuts in there. It has a nutty taste. It's really rich. Wow, it's phenomenal. Oh, look at that. Oh, the sauce. It's really all about the sauce, but chicken is just like the second ingredient in this dish. I have to taste a bite of chicken before I even move on to any carb form.
A mucha insistencia, poca la resistencia.
Muy bueno.
Sí.
Qué rico. Muy rico.
Perdón,
Yeah, that's stunning. And again, the sauce, I mean, the sauce is so incredibly flavorful that all it needs to do is coat the chicken. It doesn't need to like permeate into the center of the chicken.
Wow. Wow, this is truly delicious.
I gotta get a bit more sauce though on there. That's remarkable.
Just hold on, let me just. Okay.
You want to be on? Carlos and Annette, how's the mole? Annette?
Delicious.
Carlos. ¿Qué pasó?
Unique, special, very different than any mole that I've tried before. Very good.
And by the way, she refilled my sauce.
Pero ya así en pasta. Y en cambio así haciéndolo todo.
This mole sauce is just blowing my mind right now. They've also made us a plate of chapulines, which are grasshoppers. And grasshoppers are very, very common in Oaxaca. You'll find them at the market. They said they harvest these grasshoppers sometime in October or November, when that's grasshopper season. But then they save them all. So they have a continual supply of grasshoppers throughout the year. Oh wow. Oh, those are just fantastic. Oh, that's an entire mouthful of grasshoppers. They're kind of crunchy. I think they're cooked with some salt and lime because the flavor is amazing. Oh, those are beautiful. I love it. Oh, with that sauce, mole, chapulines. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna add on a little more mole sauce onto this grasshopper. Oh, that's an outstanding combination too. I like it with the grasshoppers. That gives it a crunch. That chicken just falls off the bone. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna add this to my rice, and I've got one combination that I need to try. I mean, I love it with the tortillas, but with rice, I mean, I am Asian. I love rice. It's so good with rice. Oh, this sauce is just insane. Okay, they also have one of Mom's homemade salsas here, and I've seen Javier. He is adding some of the salsa to his mole, so I'm gonna follow. Oh wow. There's nothing better than adding sauce to sauce. Okay, and then finally, I gotta go in for some of those chapulines. Sprinkle those on top. Oh wow. Let me add one more grasshopper for the final topping. And there it is. That is possibly the greatest single bite of mole in the entire world. And that completes the mole. That was an absolutely stunning meal. Do I have any grasshoppers stuck in my teeth? I don't think so. I just have a chocolate mustache. A mole mustache. Oh man, that was so incredibly good. I loved the mole. I loved this entire experience, and when we set off this morning, we had no idea what we were gonna do. Actually, we didn't have plans. All we wanted to do was eat, wanted to find and search out some of the best mole, and it was an incredible success. But thanks to the family here, I want to say a huge thank you to Javier, who is our driver, because he graciously thought of this idea, and then he called his mom. His mom agreed, and they graciously invited us into their home, which is it's incredible. I've said it many times before, but this is another one of those experiences that is worth traveling across the world. There's nothing like an experience like this when it comes to food and travel, and I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity. So again, huge thank you to the family. We're all very happy and full of mole now, and they're gonna give us some of that mole paste to bring home with us. Okay, I'm a little bit under the influence of mole right now, so I'm gonna quit talking. And I want to say a huge thank you for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. If you're not already subscribed, click subscribe now. I'm going to be sharing lots more videos like this and food tours and travel videos. And also click that little bell icon so that you don't miss the next video that I publish. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.